Phoenix Suns last night in action. Jalen Williams, he started out this game incredibly hot, gets this one to go. He started perfect from the field. Once again, Hartenstein finds J-Dub.
You see that little drop?
Pulls up for three, gets that one to go, and then once again he drives, spins, looking really good, and
nice
he's having fun in there.
Looking the best he has all season.
Couple dunks for Chet.
Chet for the slam. But watch this play here. After the fast break, Williams, it looks like he comes up just a little bit hobbled here. He's holding his calf, his hamstring rather. He would exit this game. He did not return, and the Thunder win 136-109. Now, OKC, they have one more game tonight before their All-Star break, but it's going to be some tough sledding after that. They have the second most difficult remaining schedule in the NBA, and they lead the Spurs by just 3.5 games. So let's start with some injury updates here, because both Jalen Williams, SGA, they're dealing with those nagging injuries. Tim, let's start with J-Dub. What's the level of concern here?
I mean, there is concern. He's out tonight, obviously, against the Milwaukee Bucks. He did strain that hamstring again. That's the second time in less than 4 weeks. They're saying he will be reevaluated after the All-Star break, which is the same thing with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and that abdominal strain.
Yeah.
And being reevaluated after the All-Star break obviously is not a guarantee that he will be ready to return. It was 10 games for J-Dub the last time he strained this. And we'll see how long he's out with this one.
Maybe they want to be a little bit cautious, but the question is, Perk, can they afford to be? Because I want to be careful saying that Oklahoma City is vulnerable, but they've been as vulnerable right now as they are, as we've seen really in the past 2 years.
I wouldn't say vulnerable, but I would just say that other teams around the league are looking them eye to eye right now. And that one team is the one guy that we just showed, the San Antonio Spurs.
Pegasus?
Yeah, Pegasus. But they're on their heels like a pair of church socks. And when you think about what the Spurs are doing right now, they check all the boxes. They're playing at an elite level. And can we take the clip off real quick, the B-roll?
You wanted to go straight down the barrel?
Talk to the people.
Take the B-roll
Talk
off
to the
because
people.
we didn't give Adam Silver and the NBA a congratulations today. They actually found their new face in the NBA. Yeah, Victor Wembanyama. He is the new face of the NBA. And if anybody want to argue with me, we could argue for hours or days, but you're going to lose this argument. Here's the reason why. When you talk about a guy that's embracing that role and embodying that, he wants that, right? He checked that box. When you talk about a guy that's going to perform at a high level and do things that we've never seen before, he's going to do that. When you talk about a guy that's going to put butts in the seats, not just at the crib, but in away arenas, he does that.
But you know what the one metric that he cares about is? It's not, I mean, that's all great, the butts in the seats, and he cares about the winning piece of it. Do you think that the Spurs can catch OKC?
I do. They're only 3.5 games back. Why wouldn't they? And they want to catch them. They should want that #1 seed, because now I'm going to say this. What's the #1 knock on the San Antonio Spurs right now?
I mean, they're young. They don't have experience in the postseason.
So wouldn't you want home court through as much as possible and play as many playoff games?
That's what Detroit's trying to do.
My point exactly.
Look, I'm right there with you, Perk. Earlier this week, I was very, very high on Victor Wembanyama's performance. We saw the numbers, the 17 points in 4 minutes, 25 and 8. And, Perk, I agree with you. We're witnessing the future face of the NBA, because right now we're in a changing of the guard, right? LeBron, Steph, KD, their teams are maybe like not as successful as we would have hoped. But right now, when I look at Victor Wembanyama, I think of the words world tour. It feels like he's on a world tour from arena to arena. Like the greats, he is making sure he satisfies NBA fans and shows his full level of talent. He's not sitting back relaxing. He also is the prototypical future of what the game is when it represents positionless basketball. So you're not far off, Perk. I believe you're right. You might say, you didn't say current base, you said future.
And I'll tell you this, the fact that Jalen Williams came back on Monday with a few games left before the All-Star break, that tells me that the Thunder had some concern about the Spurs catching him. That gap has closed. Obviously, San Antonio showed there ain't no fear from the Spurs of the Thunder. And here, OKC, they needed J-Dub because Shai was out, because A.J. Mitchell, who's a Sixth Man of the Year candidate, also has been out for a while. The safe, cautious thing to do would have let him just rest right on through the All-Star break. He came back on Monday, and they don't do that if they're not looking over their shoulder.
So I like like looking at the NBA through tiers, right? There's like a tier 1 and there's a tier 2. And I believe the Oklahoma City Thunder are tier 1 and definitely 3. And based on these tanking teams, there's definitely a 4, okay? But tier 2, the gap between 1 and 2 is getting smaller and smaller. And in that second piece, you have the San Antonio Spurs. In my opinion, you also have the Denver Nuggets. Now, they're missing a couple of key pieces, but if they're healthy, they're a team that I know that OKC is looking back like, we went to 7 versus these guys. And Jokic missed a couple games, which means that wear is not on him when the postseason comes.
And that's a great point. And this is why I bring up and I say that the Western Conference is wide open because you can't take for granted how serious soft tissue injuries are.
Right. We've seen that this season.
Hell yeah. And think about Aaron Gordon, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
The same injury he had last year in the postseason, he got that one again this year, right? He pulled his hamstring again, and now they without Cam Johnson, the Nuggets are. They without Peyton Watson.
Right.
And so when I think about J-Dub, Tim, you're right. And the one thing I don't want to do is get banned from another organization.
We noticed you weren't wearing your Thunder jacket yesterday.
I know. And I know how I feel about that whole staff over there, especially the medical staff. I was there. I had surgeries. I know the process that they go through.
There's a butt coming. What's the butt?
Floor. But I did question when I saw him on the floor. I believe it was against the Lakers. It was, and I was like, maybe they should have held them out. But I do know this: the way it goes with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Once you injure yourself, you get an MRI. They give you a timeline. You rehab, and before you get back on the floor, they don't care about what you tell them. You go get another MRI to make sure.
But Tim, I mean, with the reporting that you have, maybe that does suggest that at least the Thunder are aware that the gap is getting smaller and smaller. What tier are the Houston Rockets in?
I would say 2.5.
2.5.
Like,
she's taking the 0.5.
They're not
after what
they're
we saw
not certified.
With the
Like, so
and the Rockets.
Tier 3.
Well, what we saw from the Clippers and the Rockets maybe showed us where that 0.5
tier 3 right now
is lacking. We're going to pick this up with under 3 minutes left in the fourth. This was a good game. Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard. All right, watch the star Thompson here. Amen rather gets the loose ball. Kick it out to Tari Eason, swings it to Durant.
Once he got those feet set, you can see the twinkle toes in that corner.
Next for Houston, Durant misses, Alperen Şengün, but he's blocked there.
Kawhi has been phenomenal.
Brooke Lopez getting up. Defense leading to offense for LA.
3-1 since the trade deadline.
And then 7 seconds left in the fourth. Durant inbounds to Şengün.
I know. I shouldn't be high on the Clippers. I'm high on Kawhi right now.
Me too.
Kawhi's having the best rating
you know why?
in his career.
Because of this right here. Look, he takes on the entire squad. This is one of the best defenses in the NBA. 4 guys are in the paint trying to stop him. Devo mode.
Hey.
He goes right through you, knocks down the mid-range. Patented.
Well, Houston down 3. 2 seconds left after that from Kawhi Leonard. Thompson had one more shot to win this game.
That was Jordan Ness.
I do not need to apologize to our producer, Demetrius. She's like, my Clippers are great. Really, really.
He shoots, Easton does. The contested 3 comes up just a little bit short. So the Clippers, they go on to win this one 105-102. Kawhi, I mean, he took over late. He had 19 points in the fourth quarter to complete the 15-point comeback in Houston here. Just so impressive what we are seeing from the Cloud. We will see, though, Kawhi at All-Star Weekend. One player we won't see, the Rookie of the Year favorite, Cooper Flagg. The Mavericks announced that he had an MRI for a foot sprain. It happened against the Suns on Tuesday. He's going to be out against the Lakers tonight, and he will miss the Rising Stars festivities here in Los Angeles. So real quick before we head to break, Tim, how likely is his absence to extend beyond that All-Star break?
Yeah, not a significant concern. The Mavericks are anticipating that he will be ready to roll coming right out of the All-Star break.
And then real quick, while we're on this game, Luka Doncic also out, but we haven't gotten official word whether or not he's participating this weekend. What do we know? Progressing well, hoping he can play in the All-Star game. Okay. Appreciates being the top vote getter, wants to be on the floor on Sunday. Not too much concern for Cooper. Hope that we're going to see Luka. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's take a quick break. We will be right back. But first, Detroit, they extended, y'all good, their conference lead to 5.5 games. But should they be considered a front runner in the East? That sounds like
they showed that in the back. For
a big list. Plus, James Harden made his home debut for the Cavaliers. Did you catch his... Some breaking news just before the show. Our Shams Charania reporting that free agent forward Jeremy Sohan is joining the New York Knicks. He was released by the Spurs yesterday. That's how he became a free agent. And the Knicks will face the Pistons after the All-Star break, which is 1 week from today.
Breaking news. more like a update.
Well, let's talk about the Pistons. Weekend update. Entering the All-Star break in the top spot, guys, for the first time since 2007. Cade and the crew, they were in Toronto last night. Janae, Cade Cunningham comes off the screen.
You guys know how I feel about that man. Best big guard, you know, like Luka in that same class. Did I say Luka? Luka.
Luka.
And you both got to go read a little bit more.
Me? You more than me.
Let's talk about Paul Reed. He had 22 points starting in place for Jalen Duren. And then Cade feeding it ahead here. Pistons roll 113-95 in this one. So the top of the East, you got the top 4 teams starting to separate themselves from the rest of the pack a little bit. The Pistons, they've had a healthy lead going into the All-Star break. And then that next tier 2, as you'd say today, that's the Celtics, the Knicks, the Cavaliers. They're all a game and a half apart. And then you get Perk's Raptors and the 76ers. Vince Goodwill is here for the very first time in studio and has frames for
No, we got to give him his moment, please.
This is, I mean,
looking cooler than cool.
Cooler than the other side of the pillow, as our friend Stu Scott would say.
This
is what we do in Detroit.
This is what you do in Detroit, and you cover the Pistons for us here. So tell us, Mr. Shades, how is it that the Pistons are viewing being in that top spot entering the All-Star break?
I know Perk is going to disagree with me, but when you are 40-13 and you have 5 of your 7 best players being under 24, you're playing with house money still. I don't think, and as a matter of fact, I know the front office, the coaching staff, they don't believe this is we have to get to the NBA Finals type of season. They have an opportunity in front of them, but they didn't make a move at the trade deadline that rectified being 28th in three-point shooting, which says to me, we have to get out of the first round of the playoffs. We have to continue to take steps, not the expectation that we're going to get to the NBA Finals this season.
You sure about that?
I'm absolutely, Perk.
They did trade for Kevin Huerter, didn't they?
Did they trade for Michael Porter Jr. or Trey Murphy?
No, they didn't have to. They didn't have to because the pieces that they have, they have confidence that they can get to the top. Now, I believe if the front office told you that, they lied to you because Cade Cunningham damn sure don't believe that he ain't trying to win it right now. See, what happened is the worst thing that could have happened for the Oklahoma City Thunder is they laid the blueprint for us being one of the youngest teams to win the championship. And all these other guys got jealous of them. Anthony Edwards, Cade Cunningham, and they sitting back saying, if he could do it, damn it, I could do it. And that's what we're seeing right now. It's not just a statement when they go and smack up the Knicks. Yeah. It's not just a statement when they thought a game I thought they was going to lose last night because they was down a lot of players and walking into my Toronto Raptor arena and go out there and lay the smack down on them. This team talking about standing on business right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to see JB Bickerstaff on Friday. I'm going to ask him this.
We also know.
Yeah, I want to know.
During the offseason, it was like, look out for my team because we're coming in motivated. And sometimes we know this in the association and the NBA. What's understood need not be explained all the time. This is a team that has set their intentions to be great, and we're seeing it in real time. They are consistent, whereas the rest of the Eastern Conference has a lot of question marks. Now, I don't think they want to put the pressure on themselves.
Right.
The same way we started talking about the Oklahoma City.
Did.
But
they didn't last year.
No, this year.
No, I'm saying OKC didn't. They didn't never say they wanted to win the championship.
But also remember how we started.
2 years ago, Oklahoma City had the best record in the Western Conference and lost in the second round to Dallas. They didn't have those championship expectations.
But also, what about this year when they started off with the streak?
Absolutely.
And people were like, oh, you're chasing the 73-win Warriors. And like, hold on, slow your roll, which they understand it's a long season. They still want to win a championship, but they understand they're chasing history. I think that Detroit sees an opportunity. They're just not going to be loud with it because they want to get there and then make their noise.
I am curious, though, what the stars of this team are viewing, how they see this year. And you spoke with Cade Cunningham recently, right? Yeah. What did he tell you about the way that he sees and measures success?
Yeah, he said, believe it or not, when they lost those record 28 games in a row, that they were talking championship amongst their team, and which sounds stunning at that time. But right now, with their big lead and everything, he said, are you getting a big head? And he said, absolutely not. His grandmother taught him better than that. He's known since a little kid to stay humble, and he wants to remain that way with their success. And he said the whole team has that same mentality, but he also believes, from what he was telling me, that this team has the ability now to humbly compete for a title, not get the big head, but fight.
Well, I think one thing, Malika, the last time a team went to the NBA Finals after not making a first-round playoff series was the 1995 Orlando Magic.
No, no. It was the 2008.
Let me finish my point, Perk. If you don't add Kevin Garnett or LeBron James, you win a playoff series before you don't go straight from the first round to the finals, is what I'm saying, without a significant personnel move.
What I'm hearing is that the Pistons are not trying to put that pressure on themselves, but that record is already making a target on their back. But perhaps they've learned from teams like the Cavaliers, who've been the front runners all season long, and then it doesn't come to fruition. Let's get to Cleveland. James Harden making his home debut.
That's what it looks like on Halloween.
I was expecting like fluffier beard.
Yeah, like
you had on.
Didn't have a lot of time to work on.
Sam Merrill night.
Yeah,
that counted as an assist, by the way.
Had it going. And James Harden, the ball was moving. I know there's a lot of questions about an ISO-heavy player. That thing was flying today.
It was, and it was a sight to behold. This is the beauty of their offense. As you see in the first half, 26 points, 9 for 9, 7 for 7 from 3 in 13 minutes.
Yeah, Merrill finished with 32 points on the night. Jumping to the third here, Harden runs a pick and roll.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Tyson for the slam. Flashy pass there by James Harden. He finished the night with 11 assists. The Cavs roll almost every team in action. So let's go coast to coast. We're going to head to Buzz City first. That's where Brandon Miller, he had a monster jam. Best highlight of the night right here. And LaMelo Ball, he dropped 24 points. The locker room celebration included their suspended teammates. So, Tim, do you see maybe Charlotte making the playoffs for the first time in a decade?
Listen, nobody's feeling better about themselves right now than the Charlotte Hornets. This is the best turnaround story in the NBA this season. And, yes, I do believe that Buzz City will be a playoff destination.
And look, they have their suspended players there on FaceTime. This was the first of 4 games that both Miles Bridges and Moussa Diabate are suspended. And look what Moussa said, quote, I look forward to many more nights where the moose gets loose. Just not that loose. Excellent statement there, sir. Next up, Cam Thomas. He scored 34, maybe an homage to Giannis. Points off the bench. The Bucks defeated the Magic on the road. Mark, what does the addition of Cam Thomas mean for Milwaukee?
Well, I talked to him about it. He said he's excited about the fit. It's very comfortable. Everybody welcomed him with open arms. He's looking for a new destination.
Yeah, they did.
And he could see himself being in Milwaukee longer than this.
Longer than this? That? Him? Moving on to Minnesota.
That's a different question.
Oh, that's where Julius Randle dropped the season high. Julius Randle, rather, dropped the season high 41 in a win over the Blazers. When asked if the game was motivated by him not being named an All-Star, he smiled and said, maybe. Perk, did Julius Randle get snubbed?
He did. I thought he should have been an All-Star this year, but that's neither here nor there. The thing is, the Wolves, y'all should be ecstatic about this because now we're about to get an angry version of Julius Randle that they need, especially to make that push in this call.
Elsewhere in the West, we had some news today. The Jazz announced that 2-time All-Star, former Defensive Player of the Year, Jaren Jackson Jr., he's going to have surgery to remove a growth in his knee. Tim, what more can you tell us about this injury?
Yeah, this is something that they discovered during the physical after he was traded from the Grizzlies. He wanted to play a few games for the Jazz. He asked the franchise to keep this quiet. He did not play any fourth quarters, which obviously is something that's gotten a lot of talk around the league. He was on a legitimate minutes limit because of this, and he needed the surgery because the concern is this was a growth that was going to continue expanding. So Jaren Jackson Jr. out for the season. Should be cleared well in advance of training camp.
All right, so Jaren Jackson Jr., this is there's been a lot of conversation about tanking, but as you can see, this is the timeline here for Jaren Jackson Jr. in February after he was traded and his production for the Utah Jazz. This is something that the Jazz and Jaren Jackson at some point needed to address. This is a legitimate injury, a tumor really, that he needed to address. And there is still the conversation of tanking. And that is why we are joined by our senior insider, future Celebrity Game MVP, Shams Charania.
Don't be tanking the Celebrity Game with Shams.
Shams will not be doing that. But let's talk about tanking. How seriously is the league looking at this issue right now?
It's an increased topic, an increased conversation among the stakeholders in the NBA, from owners to league office executives to team executives and the player side at the NBPA, and finding ways to combat tanking. And it started all the way back in November and December in the wake of the gambling scandal that happened right before the start of the season. And the 3 ideas that came to fruition early in the year that the league office came up with was here, limiting pick protections as one solution, possibly not even allowing teams to draft in the top 4 in consecutive years, and then maybe another idea being locking lottery positioning after March 1. My understanding is there have been even more meetings. There was a competition committee called about a couple weeks ago with owners, with team executives, with players that all discussed even more ideas. And 3 other concepts that came in those calls were a tournament among teams that essentially play for the top draft picks. Whoa. Another idea, teams can't pick in the top 4 the year after making the conference finals, and then possibly lottery odds being allocated based on 2-year basis, not just 1 year. So these are some more ideas they're continuing to discuss, and I think between now and the offseason, figuring out when you can land on a solution to enact starting potentially next season.
I have an idea. How about you strictly enforce the rules on the books and make those rules very clear to the teams? And I'm talking about the rules in the player participation policy, the rules regarding availability for players. This is a league office problem. This is Adam Silver letting this issue get out of control. And if you don't bring down the hammer ever, teams are going to continue doing what is smart strategy in the long term.
I was at the Warriors game on Monday.
Yeah.
And the Grizzlies allowed them to go on an 11-0 run to come back and win the game, to finish the game 11-0. And something just smelled bad, like in the end, man. Like, who are these dudes that are playing?
But some of those ideas are incredibly creative. Having a tournament to determine who's going to have the top pick in the draft and have to actually, the exact opposite, play for that top spot.
It would be pretty competitive.
It would be a very competitive tournament. Who you're going to have taking the last shot. Like, those sorts of things. That's very creative and interesting.
It is a league problem, and they do need to enforce the rules. But here's my thing. This year, right, we're seeing a lot of teams tanking. And look, with all due respect, I believe that this is going to be one of the best drafts.
That's the reason why. That's the reason.
Yeah, that we've seen. I think, this freshman class, Boozer, A.J. DeBouncer, Darian Peterson, Darius Acuff, I think those guys are going to be franchise guys. They're not generational players. Yeah. Like, the way that these teams are tanking right now, they're tanking as if a LeBron James or a Victor Wembanyama is going to. That's not the case. A.J. DeBouncer is a Brandon Miller type player. I'm going to just call it spade to spade. And I love Brandon Miller. He's a hell of a player, all-star type of caliber player in the next few years. That's what A.J. DeBouncer is. It's kind of mind-blowing to me watching these teams, figuring, because they don't even know who the clear-cut #1 is. We knew who it was last year.
It's a deep draft, though. It is a deep franchise.
I'm with you.
I'm going with you. Okay. It's a deep draft, but is that juice worth the squeeze, right? Like, it's this.
Well, and you have to imagine that almost certainly Adam Silver is going to field questions this weekend about this issue that the league is facing. Another question that I expect him to be asked about is the possibility, Shams, of expansion. Where do we stand there?
Malika, this is top of mind for the Board of Governors and the NBA's owners because this is big business potentially. And I'm told there is a Board of Governors meeting in March where the expectation is there's going to be some more information, financials on what it looks like when you go get a couple more expansion teams potentially, what it means for the rest of the league, what it means, how much are the valuations of those 2 teams going to be, what does the league layout look like, and then potentially in the summer as 2026 goes on have a potential determination. But my understanding is Seattle and Las Vegas are the front runners for expansion teams, and then from there a Western Conference team moving to the Eastern Conference. So you think about teams in that region, right? Memphis, Minnesota, New Orleans. Could one of those teams potentially move to the Eastern Conference? These are conversations that we'll be picking up as 2026 goes on. This is still a few years away from actually taking place as far as these expansion teams being put forth for the public.
Yeah, but Adam Silver, it seems like he is taking and speaking more about this publicly in the last couple of times he's been asked since we've ever heard really before. He's not just shutting down these questions. And based on your reporting, it sounds like this could be something that we see. Coming up here on NBA Smith Basketball Hall of Fame, they are in, and here are some of the notable names that could be enshrined. On the men's side, Doc Rivers, Kelvin Sampson, Kevin Johnson, Blake Griffin, Amare Stoudemire, some of those headlining the group. And then on the women's side, Candace Parker, Elena Deladon, Shamiqua Holdsclaw, Jennifer Azzi, and the 1996 United States women's national team that won gold in the Atlanta Summer Games. and really paved the way for the WNBA. And that calls for a very special top of the top. Some highlights brought to you by Intuit Credit Karma of these finalists. First up, top game winners here, Shanae. We're going to start with Elena Delle Donne.
Oh, man, she is so cold. One shot on the line. You're not going to rush her. The hang time. Hello, Chicago.
Yeah, not going to rush her is right. To beat the Mercury there at the buzzer. And then a year later, in 2014.
Hall of Famer, too.
Clippers hosting the Suns. Blake Griffin gets the bounce.
Ooh.
Gets the winner over Phoenix. See, Phoenix, they were on the other side of a... This is, you know, they were on the other side of it a couple years later. Next up, top of the top, these are legendary performances. Back in '87, Mr. Spears, Buck Williams recorded.
Take us back. Take us back, Mark.
Buck Williams was nice. Mid-range jumper, rebounds well. I knew what you was doing, Malika. I knew it. I did watch him play.
That's when you were playing?
I was calling you seasoned, that's all. And then you have Shamiqua Holdsclaw recording a 24-rebound game.
Talk about
against the
emerging dominant players of the W.
And then in top dunks, we got to start with Candace Parker.
Oh, let's go.
This is
First
against
woman
Army.
to dunk in the NCAA tournament. She didn't do it once. She did it twice.
She had to make sure that this was...
Baby hair girl. We see her. Baby hair is laid.
Who's number 15 got banged on?
Oh,
94.
hey, Jay.
Oh!
That's on Hakeem.
Okay,
Good defense,
like
Kenny.
that.
Where's defense, Kenny?
Take them oxtails.
And then,
Shout out to Fix.
sorry, Perk.
Yes, sir.
We cannot promise this is the last time we play this clip.
Perk,
See,
That wasn't even the best dunk he had.
On you?
Y'all just
Well, if it
being
makes you
petty
feel
with
better,
that.
we got Richard getting got too.
Y'all wrong. Y'all wrong.
This
And
one
then
makes me happy.
blame
last but certainly not
You
least,
still dunking?
Hey!
69 years young, Marcus Johnson, still
Double
showing
ring.
us that he can do it. This class is going to be announced on Saturday, April 4th. It will be during the March Madness festivities. But Mr. Spears, a Hall of Famer in your own right, you were inducted in 2023. When you look at this group of finalists, what stands out to you?
Doc Rivers has to get in.
Yeah.
There have been 359 coaches in NBA history. He ranks 6th all-time in wins with 1184. Of the top 10 winningest coaches in NBA history, 9 of them are in the Hall of Fame. The only one that isn't is Doc Rivers. He didn't get in last year. I think he gets in this year, and he told me this would mean the world for him to get in, and he believes that he is deserving to get in.
Yeah, yesterday, I made the case for Candace Parker, who virtually is a lock in my eyes, right? But I want to give some love to Elena Delle Donne. She's the first WNBA player to win MVP for 2 different teams. And also, it's the free throw. When I think of EDD's game, she has the all-time record when it comes to free throw percentage, 94%.
Wow.
She would get a bounce from the official, and she did not dribble. She just holds it there, then follow through. One of the best shooters I've ever seen.
Also, when it comes to Doc, also, yes, the wins and losses, and, you know, that really matters, but also what you get out of your players. And when you go down his list of players that he's coached, he has maxed guys out. Like, guys have had career years under Doc Rivers, so that's another thing to keep on. And then, my guy, shout out to Kevin Johnson. I eat at his restaurant every day. You
Fixes?
Fixes. Oxtails, mac and cheese, everything.
Hall of Fame mac and cheese as well.
I'm going today.
There you go. So those festivities coming up in a couple of months here.
Don't judge.
All-Star
I know,
weekend
I'm there
next month. All-Star weekend underway tomorrow. Y'all, Kevin Durant is going to be playing in the self-proclaimed old head team. It includes LeBron and other American vets. Okay. I hope everybody has their bifocals to be able to read this, but there's been a couple of switches and swaps here for the various different injuries that have happened. So you see Brandon Ingram, is now an all-star as well. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will not be playing. So Giannis, Curry, SGA, all injured. All will be out here as you look at these rosters for All-Star Weekend. But back here to Kevin Durant. He had some interesting things to say about the effort level that he expects from his old squad.
You should ask the Europeans, if the world team, if they're going to compete. I mean, because we look at Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic now. Let's go back and look at what they do in the All-Star game. Is that competition? So we haven't questioned what they've been doing, but we're going to question the old heads and the Americans. But these 2 dudes out there, Luka and Jokic, they don't care about the game at all. These dudes be laying on the floor, they shoot from half court, but you got to worry about the old heads playing hard. I can read between the lines, bro. It's just a overall topic that everybody has just been talking about.
Those clips are crazy.
Not the bounce off the front rim.
He went for it.
You know what, Katie? I mean, he has a little bit of a point here, but I think there is one player, and can we try what the big three do? Ready?
Okay.
One player that we all think is going to show up, effort level in the All-Star game.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
KD.
Oh, you missed the memo.
Oh my God!
We know KD always shows up. But
but he's going to show up because he didn't spoke on it. And one person that has all the right to speak on it when it comes down to All-Stars is Kevin Durant. You go pull up the tape. Quick story. We was in Oklahoma City, and this was when KD was taking everything personal. And I remember right before he left to go to the All-Star game, he was like, oh, yeah, I'm going at Braun. I'm going at Braun. I'm going to win this All-Star MVP. I'm standing on that. And I remember watching him. He was picking Braun up. He was guarding Braun. He was attacking. I was like, oh, you was dead serious. So the one person who can talk about this and address any issue is Kevin Durant.
It was the right messenger. Isn't he like a 16-time
All-Star?
So, yeah, he can say what he...
16 of them.
And it's not just All-Star games. It's regular games. It's pickup games he takes seriously. But I do believe, outside of KD, don't you agree that Wemby is the one? He also has that same mindset.
You know what? I'm going to throw in a wild card. Cade Cunningham. I think he sees an opportunity to be that next American to take the torch from LeBron, from Steph.
Okay.
You know, from KD. And he wants those bright lights.
Point, right?
Maybe I'm looking into my crystal ball, and maybe in 1 week we'll be talking about, oh my gosh, can you believe how hard everyone played at the All-Star game? It's fixed. It's amazing.
I'm glad it's
I don't know about that.
My late birthday wish. Hey, y'all, this is an awesome story. Now turning to Oklahoma City. This is off the injury report, and he could make his NBA debut tonight against the Bucks. Now remember, he made his G League debut earlier this week. This is after recovering from a major knee injury. It kept him out all of his rookie season, and then he underwent chemotherapy after being diagnosed with testicular cancer in the preseason in October. So we really can't wait to see him out on the floor for the very first.
Or should I say, hey you? Or should I say, happy Thursday? Damn it, it's my time. Big perks, big list of title contenders at All-Star break. Now, y'all know I changed like the weather, so this is for right now. Tim, Malika, Shanae, y'all done all been part of this segment, so y'all know the rule. It's only one.
Yep.
Give me the damn energy that's needed. Otherwise, you will what?
Not be invited back.
Here we go. Bam! Put it up there at number 5. The San Antonio Spurs. Yeah, they're legit title contenders. And we're talking about a guy in Victor Wembanyama who's ready to go toe-to-toe with anybody. They check all the boxes as far as the personnel to go out there and compete. When you talk about the big guards, the big wings, the tenacity, they have a guy that's a closer, I believe, in De'Aaron Fox that could get them over the hump in the playoff series in the fourth quarter that's needed. Coming in at number 4, Malika, bring the energy. I need it right here.
And my voice sounds like it needs some
make you sound right.
So, all right. Bam!
Put it up there. The Knicks. Yeah, they're at number 4 because they lack inconsistency. They lack an identity when it comes down to the defensive side of things. And I've been watching them get smoked a lot by some of the best teams in the league. I need this guy, Karl Anthony Towns, to rise to the occasion. I believe they have the deepest roster in the NBA, in the Eastern Conference. Their mentality is not there. Tim, where you at? Walk on up there with them J's on. Bam!
Look, Crow Hop.
Hey, look, don't tear meniscus, though. You know what I'm saying? I want you back. The Denver Nuggets, yeah, they're at number 3. Why? Because they got Jokic, arguably the best player in the game. Jamal Murray playing at an all-NBA level. But the reason that they're number 3 is because of the injuries. Aaron Gordon, Peyton Watson, Cam Johnson, those guys are out, so they in the middle of the pack. Otherwise, they might be a little high. Coming in at number 2. Walk up here, girl. Hey.
Ooh,
hey.
Bam!
Put it up there. The Pistons. Damn it, I don't give a damn what Vince was talking about. These people ready to stand on business. They the most physical team in the league. They have a guy that could be arguably in the conversation for one of the best players in the league in Cade Cunningham. They have an identity, and they have a grudge. They have a chip on their shoulder, and they're trying to wake up the world, let them know that they are here.
And they'll fight for it.
And they'll scrap on it. They'll scrap about it, too. Coming in at number 1. Bam! Put it up there. Damn it, you know I got to stay true to my boys, the OKC Thunder. I know they battling some injuries, but they still deeper than the Pacific Ocean with the championship experience. We know about SGA, obviously, but Chet Holmgren, first-time All-Star. They just picked up the kid, Jared McCain, from Philly. I thought that was a great pickup. They get it done collectively under the leadership of Alex Caruso. So this is my list right here.
How deep is the Pacific Ocean?
I don't know. The world will never know.
Ain't hit the bottom yet.
Any issues?
Any issues?
Any issues. Now the Cavs, they're in the honorable mention. But any issues?
No, I don't have
top
an issue,
five.
actually.
All right.
5's got to scoot on up a little bit.
To well, who you replace?
Ahead of this one.
Okay, that's fair.
And Perk has said that he reserves the right to
Change his mind.
maybe 5 or 6 times before the end of the season.
I'm seasonal.
It's a pretty good list.
Seasonal.
All right.
That's a good word.
For June, but the All-Star festivities